Since opening to the public in January of 1994, Caledonia Golf and Fish Club has rapidly gained a reputation as one of the premier courses in America. It's the first solo design of the late, great course architect Mike Strantz. Strantz approached his assignment in a unique way, as an artist rather than an engineer. His exceptionally creative eye is reflected in the way he sculpted Caledonia's 18 holes, with large creative greens guarding at times by ponds, streams, and imposing bunkers. The same sort of majestic live oaks that overhang the entranceway to Caledonia similarly frame many of the shots in Caledonia, giving the course a rustic feel. Thousands of annual and semi-annual flowers bloom every year throughout the property, further adding to the beauty of the experience. Around the Golf at Caledonia has been described as a beautiful day in a floral nature park. Welcome to Caledonia, one of my favorite courses in the world. The opening hole at Caledonia is a gorgeous 350-yard par 4. The shortest par 4 on the course, and it gives you a great chance for a birdie to start your round off right. The generous fairway is tree-lined with the majestic road that leads you into Caledonia. The second shot is basically wide open with the exception of the bunkers to the left and to the right. The generous flat green gives you an excellent look at a birdie putt, or you can blast it 3 feet by and make a tester coming back for par. Up to you, but it's a nice way to start your round. Number 2 at Caledonia is a long, straight par 5, and a departure from signature Mike Strantz par 5s. Normally his designs offer wide tee shots. Here it's replaced by dual tree-lined fairways and a stand of trees on the right that could easily come into play. The hole demands 2 long, straight shots, and then for most of us, a third shot to a green protected by a large, deep bunker on the right. Today they've chosen to tuck the pin behind the bunker, but the green hosts a large variety of interesting locations to put a pin. The green is not tiered, but it is heavily undulated. Today we got a good look at birdie, and Number 3 is an amazingly beautiful par 3. The manicured tee box with its seasonal flowers welcomes you to a visually challenging hole. The waist area is simply for decoration. If you hit it in there, you've probably had too many cocktails from the snack shack. Depending on the pin, the hole could play up to 30 yards longer or shorter. Once on the putting green, the surface is relatively flat in the front, but leads to an elephant grave in the back. Plan accordingly, or a 3-putt could be in your future. Adam Paddock, even through 2, has a challenging 8-footer to remain even par. He lines up the putt, takes a last look, and it's in the hole. Number 4 at Caledonia is our first chance to see Mike Strantz's creativity. A short par 4 with a tee shot to a large landing area that favors a draw, and then a short approach to another large green. Or you can pull it 40 yards long and left, and then have to make a hero shot to get up and down. Hashtag almost got Strantzed. Number 5 is a hell of a hole. The 376-yard par 4, but the farther you push it towards the green, the narrower the hole gets. Long hitters are going to opt for a long or mid-iron to avoid the pines, but not our boy Mr. Johnny Straight Drive. If you make it over the bunkers, you're going to have a very short iron into a small green. The green drops off severely on both sides, and there's the first time where water could come into play on the left. Take a look for gators. Bottom line, if you're on the green, you're going to have a good look for birdie. Let's see how our boy does. And classic Strantz. Devilishly difficult short par 3s. Number 6 is a perfect example, and a difficult hole at only 135 yards. A bogey awaits any miss of this long, deep green. There's more trouble to the left than to the right. There really is no place to bail out other than short and in front of the green. Instead of watching Adam miss another birdie putt, take a look at how pretty those flowers are behind him and the blooming tree to the left of the screen. Absolutely gorgeous. Number 7 at Caledonia is the 4th hardest hole on the course. It's obvious because of its intimidating tee shot, but it's not very long. But all manners of disaster await a wayward tee shot, so don't it up. If you're on the right side of the fairway, you have to contend with this giant tree. So you have to hit it far enough up to be able to hit a short iron over the tree. Leave it too far back and you're apt not to get a mid iron over the tree. And since it takes Adam so long to line up a putt, we might as well read you Mike Strantz's Wikipedia page. Mike Strantz, born May 27, 1955, passed away June 10, 2005, was an American golf course architect based out of South Carolina. In 2000, he was named one of the top 10 greatest golf architects of all time by GolfWeek magazine. Strantz was born in Toledo, Ohio, and raised in Walbridge. He graduated from Michigan State in 1978. Number 8 is a shining example of a Mike Strantz par 5. Although longer than most of his par 5s at over 510 yards, it's not the tee shot that gets you, but the green complex. Although number 8 demands your tee shot travel over double bogey-inducing sand traps, the landing zone is generous and forgiving, and the vast majority of us are going to lay up before hitting our 3rd shot over the water. On this hole, though, the pin position is key, as the green slopes severely from the back to the front. It's like hitting into a dartboard. The always fast and consistent greens can set you up for disaster unless you plan accordingly. While the video may not do it justice, there's about 3 feet of drop from the front to the back.
I'm the 3-putt king. I'm the 3-putt king. In regulation, I'll hit the green. But unless I knock it close, I'm the 3-putt king.
Number 9. I don't know if I love or hate this hole. It's a spectacularly beautiful par 3 with flowers and brick walls. It attaches to the short game practice area and could be a pitch and putt hole at just 110 yards. The problem is the green's so narrow from the front to the back that it'd be easy to hit into the sand traps in the front or long into the snack shacks in the back. And then with the snack shack lady, the tilapia chowder guy, and the foursome waiting to tee off number 1 watching, try and enjoy this sphincter tightening par 3 of which I've never parred. After dominating the front and a cup of tilapia chowder, you head off the back with this long par 5, over 530 yards, with a relatively tight tee shot, but opens up to a very forgiving second shot. So a long iron or a wood, but again, on the right side, it kind of goes down a little hill. What's very cool about this hole is the green complex. The green sits down in a little depression, or what I can only assume in South Carolina they call a holler. Flowers, bushes, brick walls, and stairs lead down to this well-bunkered green complex. Depending on where they put the pin, again, it can play from easy to devilish. Our boy's in the green side bunker and he's short-sided himself. Let's see if he can get up and down to start the back with a par. Nice out of there, onto the fringe and leaks onto the green. With his wife in attendance, he gets his putter caught in his skirt. Nice bogey. Number 11 at Caledonia is considered by many to be the hardest par 3 on the course. With a ravine and water the whole way down the left side, no bailout, short, right, or long, it's either hit the green or die. Apologies in advance for this short video, but again, it can only be 25 seconds long when our boy makes a 2. Back to even on the side. All right, number 12, what a tee shot. Carry the water, carry the trap, carry the cart path. Watch out for the stand of trees on the right. Don't go too far left. But if you do happen to hit a good one down the middle, you're gonna leave yourself a very reasonable shot into a very difficult green. This hole is also typically a wildlife preserve. Gators, cranes, osprey, the occasional duck. Again, it's a very cool hole. Take a look at this green. Again, if the pin's in the back, don't be in the front. If the pin's in the front, don't be in the back. This thing is a nightmare if you're on the wrong side. I think I was actually better off chipping here than I was trying to hit this ridiculous putt. You guys know what's gonna happen. There is zero chance of this thing being a 2-putt. Welcome to 3-putt city and a bogey. Number 13 is one of the coolest holes on the course. A extreme dog leg left with a wide landing zone. You want to keep the ball to the right of this big weeping tree here. You see my tee shot was lucky enough to kind of bleed underneath it, but it brings you to this gorgeous second shot. A waist area goes 3/4 of the way around to a peninsula green. You got water behind the hole. Again, hard shot to get onto the putting surface. If you miss, you're going to be in a dramatic waist area and pitching uphill to this raised green. It's not a giant green, so if you're on, you got a good look at birdie. It's just so pretty. It's so much fun. It's one of the defining holes of Caledonia. And with a little tap in for par. 14 at Caledonia is a great risk-reward hole. Not long at 365 yards, but with water and traps the entire length on the left side and trees encroaching tight from the right, straight is favored over distance. And if you went for the epic day and have already played 18 at True Blue, fatigue may start to become an issue. Special thanks to Maximum Results Fitness for the gains in the winter and the maintains in the summer. But regardless of how big you are, if you're on the right side of the screen, you're going to have to hit it with the water looming just over the green dramatically. You go over, you're in the water. So it's not surprising that our boy came up just a little bit short, but with a good chance at birdie, and we'll walk in a par. An intimidatingly long par 4. Number 15 at Caledonia, again, demonstrates a classic Mike Strantz design. Wide open landing zone, especially favoring those of us who knock it to the right a little bit, still leaves an unbelievably long second shot to a very difficult green complex. Your miss here is short and in front. It's certainly not left and pin high. You'll see a lot of undulations around the green from here, if you're left, if you're right, if you're long. Again, nice job knocking it tight. Like the rest of the course, this is a very pretty hole. Straight back and straight through, and a lip in. All right, here we go, the final stretch. Number 16 could easily be a round killer. Tight fairway, left and right, bunkers for those short and right. But again, your second shot's got to carry this big pond. It's bad enough you have to carry this gator-infested pond, but the green slopes severely from the front back to the water. It's two-tiered, and you'd want to favor the back of the green, but now you're putting straight back. Holes like this are why Caledonia is consistently included as a must-play course year after year in publications like Golf Magazine, Golf Digest, and the Golf Channel. The Golf and Fish Club has earned a myriad of awards and accolades since its opening in 1994. Just take a look at number 17. What a magnificent hole. You have to carry the entire waist area to a very reasonably distant 155-yard par 3. The most difficult part of this hole is wiping the tears out of your eyes as you know your round is about to come to an end. Little closest to the pin for a beer in the clubhouse. Adam versus Mike. Oof. Looks like it might be Mike this time. This is why we play Caledonia. The hole that will rent space in your head for the rest of your life. A layup tee shot of no more than 220 or 230 yards should leave you a short iron into one of the best shots in all of recreational golf. Carry the inlet straight at the clubhouse and hit the green, and applause are likely to erupt from the porch from your peers eagerly looking on. Miss the green, and you may get a sneer or a jeer. If the pin is in the very front, it's a magnificently difficult place to hit, but when you do, you'll have bragging rights in your group until you return. This putt is to shoot 3 over 73, and oof, this one's going to sting. As the sun sets over the marsh at Caledonia Golf and Fish Club, a beer and a club sandwich await on the deck as we wait for the group behind us to finish. Will they hit the 18th? Can you come to South Carolina's finest golf course to find out? In 1797, Dr. Robert Nesbitt, a Scotsman who owned the property, bestowed upon it the name Caledonia. The new owners aimed to build a golf course that preserved as much of the land's natural beauty as possible. As Southerners, they wanted to create an atmosphere of warmth and hospitality that visitors from around the country and around the world would remember fondly.